Welcome to Speaking Prowess. Are you ready to supercharge your communication skills and achieve unstoppable success? You're in the right place. Join Sifu Rafael, visionary founder and world-renowned master instructor, as he transforms leaders into powerful communicators. Joining Sifu is co-host Brigitte Hufele, a dynamic businesswoman, global speaker, and NLP master trainer, and the Skilled Center of NLP team. They will deliver unmatched expertise and energy to every episode. Prepare to unlock your full potential and make every conversation count. This is Speaking Prowess, where your journey to communication mastery begins.
Joe, you're not Brigitte. I'm kidding, Joe. I'm kidding. How are you? Thank you so much for co-hosting with me today, my friend. How's everything?
I am doing fantabulous, is what I like to say.
I love it.
Today's another beautiful day. And like I say, every day is what you make of it. So why not make today your best day ever?
Oh, yeah. Love that. So we do have two incredible guests. Why don't we go ahead and bring them in?
Sure.
Scott and Dr. Loren. Gentlemen, happy Friday to you.
Yeah, same to you.
Happy Friday.
Oh, yeah. So today we're going to be talking about, think about the unspoken words. And this is a communication show, but sometimes the unspoken words leave so much for people to ponder on, right? Who wants to grab that and think about the unspoken words that sometimes can heal someone or maybe even hurt someone?
Go ahead, Dr. Loren.
Who's that threw me under the bus? Show yourself. I'm kidding. And I have some unspoken words in my head right now for you. I'm kidding.
I love it. It's
Well,
going to be a fun show. I can tell.
What comes to mind for me is two things, actually. And today, because we're talking about speaking, and that's what I do, and that's everything I do has speaking attached to it. But that's the way it is for all of us. A lot of people think speaking only applies when you're on stage. Well, the grocery store line is a stage. I believe if you're living within your purpose, you're never off stage. Every place you go is an opportunity. So having said that, there are two things that come to mind that I feel are definitely things to address. Number one, unspoken words, reading between the lines. Because sometimes people will leave things out. They will add things to something. They will embellish, which is adding. But even the Bible, every version of it has a disclaimer on the front. King James's version, the NIV version, the whatever version, which means take what works and leave the rest. So that's reading between the lines. But in order to get what you're looking for, you got to know why you're looking for it so that you will find it. And that also beckons it, enacts the law of attraction, karma, all those things, to bring it towards you simultaneously. And then the last part is, as far as unspoken words is for me, ones you don't need to speak. I believe with all my heart, and I tell it, those three monkeys, people call them lucky monkeys. See, no, this, no, that, no. I believe they're dark monkeys, tricky monkeys, because when people leave things out, when you try to change the truth, which of course, that's the only thing in the universe you cannot change. It remains the same. It will always be the truth, no matter what you do to it. That's just a version or a knockoff. So being impeccable with your word means sometimes you need to say the hard things, but you don't want to rock the boat. Sometimes you need to get rid of words that are what I call words that deceive. For instance, too much. No, so much. It's not too anything. Leave it at the end of the sentence where it's a blessing. There's something in here that can heal you too. Isn't it crazy isn't it strange how no, it's crazy wonderful. It's strangely miraculous. Put your own definition on words so that when people see you, they can also hear you. Because once they see or hear something, they cannot unsee it and they cannot unhear it. So unspoken words work in both directions, just like you said, Sifu.
Love it. Scott, you're up, my friend.
Well, I could follow that with ditto, but I won't. No, I think that's brilliant. I think it's absolutely true. In it's been about 12 minutes since I said every time you open your face, a sales presentation starts, right? So every word you speak is creating another situation where somebody considers your thought critically, one way or the other. And so I'm a huge advocate of word choice in doing things. I say positive and less than positive. That other word doesn't even come in. I think that we have the ultimate opportunity on a daily basis to choose things as simple as words to share, but then the more positive those words are and the more proactive that they are, actually, that's where the unspoken side comes from, because now your actions take over. Lead by example. Jesus only said 2 words: follow me. He didn't make this big diatribe about it, right? It's the follow me side, and become the living example of your beliefs, whatever those beliefs are. Not my job to get you to believe what I believe. It is my job to show you what I believe through being that living example. And I think that's where those unspoken words come in.
Love it.
That's fabulous. Yeah. Since I'm sitting in for Brigitte today, and she is an NLP master trainer, hearing this, I couldn't help but go to my NLP training. And remember that 7% of communication is the actual verbal part. The rest is nonverbal. So you're looking for those clues, the body motion and the intonation of the voice, et cetera, et cetera. So that's something that I've been in sales all my life. And that's something I learned to really look for more than just what people are saying. How are they saying? What's the intention behind it? And of course, you can go off on tangents about how text messages get misinterpreted, things like that, because the feeling isn't there behind it, the energy. And when I'm training, especially real estate agents, because they do a lot of cold calling, I always tell them, make sure you have that positive attitude before you even call, that mindset shift, because people pick up your energy before you even pick up the phone. Clean example of that, if there's a doubter out there, have you ever been thinking about somebody you haven't talked to in a long time? Next thing you know, they call or reach out to you.
Out of the blue.
Yes. Yeah.
Isn't it strange how every time I'm thinking about you, Joe, you call? No, it's strangely interesting.
Doctor. And so there's that part of it. The other part is, as we know through our personality methodology, that people have different personalities and they interpret information differently. That's also in the NLP, your map of the territory. And so you want to be careful. And I love the fact that you gentlemen use the positive aspect of everything, the reframing, instead of using negative words. It makes all the difference out there. And even in the grocery store, when I park in the parking lot of Whole Foods and I'm walking up, I purposely make sure I have a smile on my face, or at least a happy face. And if I see somebody walking my way, even if they're not looking at me, I say hello. And it's amazing how many people kind of look back at you like, oh, he noticed me. People don't feel noticed.
Right.
And that's what they want. They want to be noticed. They want to be heard. And of course, we all want to be loved. And then when I go through the store, same thing. And checking out, of course, I always ask, how are you today? I say, I'm fantabulous. How are you doing? And I've literally had some of them stop and say, my God, why? What's going on? I say, I'm alive. I'm here. I'm talking to you. What could be better? And they're like, wow, what a great attitude. I need to do more of that. We don't need to. You choose to.
Yeah. I love this. I love everybody's answers. So I'm going to use Scott, and I'm kidding, Scott. What I think about is that the eye contact is so powerful. That's an unspoken. It's a telling, I understand you. I feel you. I love you. I'm with you. Right. And you talked about God and 2 words, follow me. And just with your eyes, you can say, I'm with you. I'm following you. I'm there with you. A touch, a soft touch to let somebody know, I'm here for you. I'm here. Whatever you're going through, I'm on your side. You can't say anything negative to me because I'm all about you. I'm going to help you through this phase of your journey that you may be struggling through. And that sometimes is the healing part. But sometimes it's not. Somebody, maybe they're not going through a physical ailment, but maybe it's a mental ailment, or maybe they're out of luck with finances. And maybe you're out of luck with finances, or maybe your money's tied up, but you can say, hey, you know what? I'm going to be here, and maybe I can figure out a way to help you find your finances. And maybe when I clear some things up, I'll help you financially as well. So it's about the just being there for somebody. I think that's the unspoken word, to have them know that you got their back and their side and their front as well. All sides, all sides. And I think that this is a beautiful conversation we're talking about, because everybody here is an expert in communication, and it's the unspoken words that sometimes mean the most, especially in relationships, right? It's sometimes it's even the unspoken words we say to ourselves. We may not say them, but if we think them, how are they elevating us or drowning us?
Can I butt in?
Go for it. Jump.
Get you. Well, first of all, I want to say when I refer to reading between the lines, that speaks to whenever you have words you didn't say. In most cases, there are words you did choose to say. So, it's what you say and it's what you don't. It's what people say and it's what they leave out. So always, I know with what I serve, who I serve, those that I serve, everything greater than me. I serve everything greater than me. Seriously, because I'm not all caught up on names and titles and this and the other. I am just trying to do my best with everything that is working for me, and that is everything greater than me. So I want to say, I got to say this. When you say out of luck, well, first of all, only time I have ever read the word luck somewhere, it's in something that is fiction. It is fiction. That's Mother Goose and Dr. Seuss. You see what I'm saying? That's not Confucius Says, the Farmer's Almanac. It's not hieroglyphics. It's not the Bible. It's not those places. So it's also important where you glean. But there are lessons in Mother Goose and Dr. Seuss, object lessons, of course. But the reason I don't subscribe or ascribe to luck is because if I need to go and find it as a promise somewhere, it does not exist. So and let me say, I go to what you said. Go with Scott. When Scott said this, I love this one. Get ready. I guarantee you're going to take this one with you. When he said, follow me, that's what Jesus said. Great. Gave me another one I can use from the stages, because currently I use this. This shows you how powerful spoken words are. If you're going to use Jesus, let's use 3 examples. The power over life and death. Take Lazarus, his name, his proper noun, his mom and dad gave him that, we're assuming. Take that out of the equation. Because if he had said, come forth, everybody would have jumped up. So he had to call the specific person. Out on the boat. Oh, we're gonna drown. Da da da. Peace, be still. The unclean spirit and the boy, leave him. And then Scott's example, follow me. Those are all command words, right? But what's the thing about them all? That's over life and death. That's over evil spirits. It's over the elements, wind, rain, all the things that either possess life or have an effect on life. What I find interesting about every one of those words, including Scott's example, is follow me, leave him, come forth, peace be still. Every single one of them is only one syllable. So when you choose your words, you don't need to have, deoxyribonucleic acid. You don't need, that's a 26-letter word. I remember because in 8th grade, I memorized it, right? And I thought I was smart after that, but you don't have to. You don't, if you keep it simple, it'll remain that way. So I want to say that about that. And another thing, when we said, is it like this? Thank you for that, Joe. We can change just as easily. You can change in someone's entire life by removing constructive criticism, and replacing it with constructive insight. Instantly, you have no dukes have gone up, and usually they're like, what do you mean by that? And now they're seeking. Now they're within a promise. Not the thing, see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. Them tricky monkeys, if you know what I mean. And then the other one I really hate. I've been looking for years for a replacement. Someone gave me one a few weeks ago, and I'm going to use it until I get something better. Maybe you guys can come up with one. Devil's advocate. Where in the world? And that's when people say that, they're the ones who say, ooh, taste this macaroni and cheese. Girl, it's good as hell. How is it? Where did you get that? In a fairy tale with luck? So, we choose. But the thing about it is, when you start eradicating words that deceive from your own vocabulary, you'll know when you've done well, because suddenly you'll start identifying them when they're coming towards you from someone else's vocabulary. And it makes all the difference in the world. If you want to know what people are really about, don't watch their mouths. Focus on their feet. What are they really doing?
Exactly. It's funny. One of the memes that I created with last book is a picture of 2 feet looking, straight down. And the meme is, be where your feet are. Just be present, be right there. It's one of the long lessons. But again, to what you said, Dr. Loren, your actions speak so loudly, I can't hear the words you're saying.
That's right.
I mean, be it, be where you are, be present. Don't sit there and say, oh, this is really important. Oh, it's important being on this podcast, and I'm checking my phone and I'm doing everything else. It's congruence in word, actions, and deeds, right?
Right.
And that becomes the unspoken stuff. It's right. And Joe, it goes back to Dr. Maharabin's UCLA study in 1977 on nonverbal communication. Words, tonality, physiology. 7% is the words. Words are cheap. Why did they create emojis? They created emojis to try to help people interpret the words. I hate you, smiley face. Right? It's like the whole idea. And so again, it's the unspoken. Be present. Be in there. Sifu knows this, but I lived through a near-death experience. And when I got released from the intensive care, my wife tried to normalize me. We went to a grocery store, and we're walking down an aisle, and a lady's coming the other way, and I smiled at her. And she kind of wigged out. She went the other way. And so I went down the next aisle. There was another lady, and I smiled at her, and she kind of looked at me and walked away. And so the third aisle, there was a lady walking towards me, and I took the cart and I crossed it across the aisle so she couldn't get through. And I smiled at me. I smiled at her, and she goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm smiling at you." And she said, "Why?" And I said, "Because I can." She goes, "Oh, that's really awesome. Nobody's done that for me today." I said, "I'll throw in a hug if you want it." And she goes, "That'd be great." Totally changed, right? All we have to do is, for me, it was just trying to be normal again. It was trying to be in an environment where, again, you could do some things. It doesn't take a lot. But it's the desire to be goofy as hell or goofy as heaven. Sorry.
See,
you already got me, Dr. Loren.
But see right there, he caught it.
Yeah.
He caught it. And it's a miraculous thing when you just create a brief, even temporary covenant, if you will, and say, I'm going to try to do better.
I'm not going to try. I'm just going to do.
You're just going to do. Now, you said the emojis, and there's a thing I say on the show all the time. When people, like, for instance, when someone says on Facebook, oh, so-and-so and so-and-so in my family is in intensive care, or this and the other, and we go, oh, you see all the praying. Please pray for them. Done. Praying. Or just the emoji prayer hands. And most of them, if they were to be perfectly honest, have not even whispered a syllable of a prayer. So you cannot let other things, symbols, you can't just go and never say, I love you. You can never just go and not show that you support them. Words speak louder than actions, but your feet I mean, I've had in this business as a speaker, I had somebody tell me I wouldn't go on that stage if I were you. You know what she did and this, that, and the other. I was like, what? I didn't know about that. And it was the next day. Later that afternoon, I'm real story, driving past a coffee place. They're sitting outside, and I nearly crashed because I'm driving. I look over. Who do I see 3 hours later with the person they warned me about, the person who did the warning? And I'm like, didn't he just say why? Because he wanted me to quit, walk away, so he could have that because he was the one that they didn't choose. I didn't even know. So I'm just saying, you know, when you're in the 4 agreements, be impeccable with your word is the very first one in the Bible. First, there was the word. And Bruce Lee, spelling. Your words cast spells. That's why it's called spelling. See, we set the intent at one end of the block, and then we have to march our happy asses up to the other end and let our definition and our purpose and what we believe to be true drive the momentum directly into our intention. So the definition of why you're doing it is what will drive it directly into where you're taking it. See? So.
And that goes back to congruency. Be congruent. And
that's right.
I had a couple of comments there. And Dr. Loren, thank you for giving those quotes from Jesus. And I'm going to be the first to admit I am not a biblical scholar.
Me either.
I grew up a rebellious Irish Catholic. So that should say enough right there.
Seventh-day Adventists, and they think we're crazy. So I was. But, you know, that's a starting point for most people.
Yes, exactly.
Organized. Right. Go ahead.
But I couldn't help but think those commands and the people like, you know, we're going to walk on the water and they're like, oh, we'll drown or whatever. It brings me back to love versus fear. And that's the root of everything. Is it love or is it fear? And it's like a course I'm studying now. Are you living in the matrix or are you living through your source consciousness? And the matrix being all that external factors that are determining how you behave in life, what type of opportunities you have. You're reacting, you're not in control. Whereas if you're connected to source, call it God, Jesus, whatever you like, Buddha, Gandhi, anything. If you're connected that way, you're connected to your true essence and your ego is not in the way.
Amen.
And that's where a lot of people, I believe, go wrong, is living on the ego side of it. I gave a talk in Vegas last year, and interestingly enough, it came out that when you look at the audience, I was actually up on the stage first before my talk, and the girl who was hosting was Loren Michaels-Harris, if you know her, and she had me up there, and she's saying, what are you feeling in your heart? How are you feeling? And I kept saying these things that were very obviously analytical, and she goes, no, that's up here. I want you to drop down in the heart. Eyeball everybody in this audience, and there were hundreds of people out there. Take a couple of minutes. What do you see when you look at those in those people's eyes? And I thought I was going to come out with I'm up there for a sales presentation. I'm thinking it's going to be something magical that way. And all of a sudden I just blurted out, I see love. And that's what everybody is when you get right down to it. We are love.
Yep.
And Scott, going back to your point, you're screaming or whatever, that silence is deafening is the phrase that came to mind when I heard that.
Yeah, very much so. You know, I mean, it's interesting, the whole concept of the 2 great commandments and the other 8. Love him, love thy neighbor as thyself. If we would just get more into a love concept and be able to do things like that and just lift people up. The other thing is 1 definition, 2 words. Confidence in the unseen, assurance of the unknown is the definition of fear. Confidence in the unseen hasn't happened yet, but I know it's going to be less than positive. Assurance of the unknown. Again, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm pretty sure I'm not going to like it. Or the exact same definition, the confidence of faith. Confidence in the unseen. I haven't seen it. I know it's going to be awesome. Assurance of the unknown. I don't know what it is, but I know it's done for me, not to me.
I was going to say that. Is life happening for you or to you? That's the mindset.
very much so. And again, I think these are all they're officially, quote unquote, probably reframes, but the reality is, if that's your frame, you don't have to reframe, right? It's already there. And so the choice is, when somebody asks me, and Sifu knows this, when somebody asks me, how you doing? My answer is fabulous, and I'll get better, because it's such a state change. It's whatever. If Sifu calls me, I'll go, Sifu's fan club. How can Scott Schilling, president, how can I be of service? That's the way I answer the phone if I know who's calling. Why do I do that? State change. It officially, it positions you, but it's not a tactical thing. I've done it for 30 years, which I know is hard when I'm only 29, but the fact is, I've done it for years. And the reason for doing it is because other people aren't. And it's just one more way to add to somebody's life experience. And they might go, this guy's a knucklehead. Cool. You can interpret it that way. Or, wow, this guy's different in a positive way. That's another interpretation. I don't really care. I'm going to do it whether you like it or don't like it, or think it's cool or not cool, or whatever. It's fun.
Positive energy sets the tone.
I gotta say, we're talking about healing through the unspoken, and I saw Dr. Loren take out his credit card when Joe was speaking, and that was just a notice of, he valued what you were saying so much, he was willing to pay for it. So that was great.
Actually, it wasn't a credit card, but it was in the wallet. You were right, but it was not a credit card. It was
but it looked like card. Yeah, there you go. So
my business card, because I want to show some words.
Cool. So but here's the thing, right? Sometimes we pay for things because we think we need them. But when we really need something, we go on the cheap side. And we don't invest in us. We don't invest in who we are, who we're becoming. But we do go spend a lot of money on a fancy car, a house, a TV, whatever it is, on objects. But we forget to take care of the most important, us. And with that in mind, I just want to share with you what I am currently doing, and take a look, guys. You followed the rules, tried the restrictions, counted the carbs, the steps, and the failures. You're not lazy, you're exhausted from doing it all without real change. What if the problem isn't you, but the plan? Sifu's Mind-Body Method is a 90-day transformation built on 7 unshakable pillars: mindset, movement, nutrition, hydration, fasting, journaling, and faith. This isn't another shortcut. It's your structure, your strength, your reset. You don't need harder, you need better. Ready to begin? Start today. When we can think about our lives, the people who have helped shape them, how do we give back? That's a question for everybody. How do we give back? Maybe that person who did shape our lives is no longer around. But how do we pass it forward? How do we take a young person or even somebody who is in need and we do pass it forward? What is the first steps to helping someone else?
I'll jump in.
Love it.
The best way, because the thing about it is, the answer to this question right here should be standing right beside what Joe said. Your system, your covenant, your grounding, whatever it is you have in place that you do consistently, not frequently. In other words, you cannot have, or you should not try to have a Morse code type existence, a shared custody agreement with what it is to do right. Nobody has to tell you what's right. You don't have to ask anybody what's right. You just do it. You pick up the battle and you do what's right. That's why I say when I came here, if you're going to teach, you must be willing to live your teachings. Because if you don't and you purport that you do, one day the universe is going to put you in a scenario where you're going to be living what you said you have already mastered. So if you said I run marathons, don't be surprised if you wake up and you're in the middle of the Boston Marathon with no shoes on. See, that's what you get. That you manifested through falsehood. So it's going to, what's done in the dark will come to the light. But the dark is where the light gets in. So what you do with it is what you will get from it. So I want to say that to say this. First of all, windows and doors, they're opportunities. When you peek through a window, you mentioned earlier, that's why I wrote windows and doors down, because people are afraid of what they don't know. But I did that for decades until God said to me, listen, you're afraid of the wrong thing. Don't be afraid of the questions. When you look through the window of opportunity and you don't understand everything that's in there, that's because the question mark is me. I'm already in there, Loren. I'm waiting for you. Now go use the door and come on in. You see, because it's to tell me it's not an ego setup. If I don't see any question marks, I pass. That's why I don't step on stages where they pay to play. No offense to anyone who does. But for me and for mine, it is a non-negotiable because people can pay to say any lie they want to. But see, but also if I have set standards, boundaries for that sort of thing for myself, because I've passed up gigs with my own clients. I will, Dr. Loren, will you MC? You got 2 days. Will those two people move them to the other day and I will be there. But I ain't setting foot on the property if those two shysters are there. Not because of what somebody said, because I was there when they did what I will not tolerate in my sacred space. See, before I did this work, when you, to answer your question, when you said, what did we do? Well, what I did was I had to make myself accountable. So that at that moment, when they changed from just people to literal souls, when I saw one, I have a Goalcast video, has 67 million views. God told me the night before it was released, there's only one number that matters to me, and it's the number one. That's it. Because if I give you access to one soul, Loren, I have given you access to them all. I don't think anyone is more or less deserving of the truth, and you should not either. So that makes all of us that speak dominionaires. There, something tied to speaking. We are the only creatures on this earth that can speak. I speak to my plants and they flourish. I speak to my pets and they obey. But when we abuse it, it's when we try to use it against each other. You are a dominionaire just like me, you see? So, and everything doesn't just work for me. Everything, I use this one, everything serves me. Everything. I don't care if it's something that's trying to work against me. Oh, no, you don't. You gave me heads up. Why are you trying so hard to mess my day up? Must be something ahead. I didn't even look at my calendar yet, but I will now. Oh, 2 o'clock. That's what you were trying to keep me from. Thank you, because I might have slipped up and missed it. I bless you. Now I release you. Get on out of here. You don't belong here. You see? So last thing is this. Here's the beautiful part about the greater thing and the consistency. When you get up every day, say to yourself out loud, I'm already great. I'm already now today before I go back to sleep tonight, what can I find in this 24-hour journey, whatever it is, that will make me go from great to greater? Because when you do that, great to greater, great to greater, great to greater, you're looking for one thing, an E and an R. You don't need all 26 letters. You don't. Get up every day. Believe that you can bring something to the world that they've never seen, but that means you have to believe you can show up today as a Loren you've never been. Okay? Last part of this, and this is it. When we do great, we become greater, and one day, if the teachings are true, they say that, I picture it like this. They showed it to me like this: that mansion that is being created somewhere for me. Only person gets to walk down that beautiful driveway is the owner of that house, and the people preparing it right now are dusting and filling up everything. And one day they're gonna look out and they're gonna see somebody walking down that driveway, and they're gonna say, "Ooh, somebody's in trouble. Nobody's supposed to walk down that driveway but the owner of this house." And then someone who's in charge will look. Oh, y'all don't know who that is? Who is it? The one of us that was great and then became greater every day. They're going to point and they're going to say, well, here comes one of our greatest. So if you want that, prove it. Get up every day and say, I'm great. Today I'm going to look for a way to be greater. I'm nice. Yesterday, you know how I became nicer in the middle of all this stress? A cart at the grocery store got away from a woman and was headed for that car right next to mine. I dropped my groceries. Oranges went everywhere and grabbed that cart. But last night, in the midst of everything that didn't seem right, God reflected me back to that moment and said, well, that was nice, wasn't it? So you woke up nice. You just go to sleep now because you're a little bit nicer. Wake up and I'll take care of the rest. And here we are, just like that.
That's beautiful.
I love that. Being in integrity.
Exactly. Oh.
And even something as simple as stopping that car from hitting the car. If I did that, I would say to myself, I just did my good deed for the day.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not that hard to catch people doing things right and to do something right yourself. It really isn't. It's funny the way I say it, Dr. Loren. I've been very blessed. I've shared the stage with every great one and everyone that thought they were great. And, and I can tell you the good ones and the less than good ones. And man, I got stories. Again, been blessed to have the opportunity to have the stories, but they give you the juxtaposition of, the really good ones. Being backstage in Singapore and hearing just amazing stories of love and support and compassion. And then at the same event, seeing somebody that the only reason they flew there is to see what they could get, how much money they could get from the people of Singapore. Mm-hmm. And you just go, God, the vast majority of time, I love this industry. And then there's a few, so I agree with you wholeheartedly. The only thing that we can control is ourselves and as you said, Joe, integrity. Integrity comes from the word integer, one, wholeness. How you do anything is how you do everything, right? I mean, are you out there being supportive of people and doing the different stuff when the times aren't easy for you? Because we're all going to face the ups, the downs, the lefts, the rights, the inside, outside. We all going to get every bit of it because that's what God does for us to give us breadth of experience and the ability. I swear some of the events I've had in my life, I've sat and I've thought about it. It's like, how can you have such amazing ups and then have such amazing downs? And the reason is because I've been trained up to be far more empathetic and compassionate than the vast majority of people. I've lived it when somebody says, Scott, you've had these great heights and, you couldn't possibly understand. Oh, no. No, I've been blessed to be able to understand. I've lived it myself. And so again, I mean, I think we all have the opportunity of how to take all these experiences and take all this. It is, and it's one of the advantages of being more mature. Again, code word for older. We've lived more things. We've experienced more things. We've taken not only the knowledge, but that knowledge, because it's been in action, has converted to wisdom. And that wisdom can now be passed along. I love the heart of a 22-year-old life coach. I love their heart that they want to do that. Mm-hmm. Here's what I would maybe provide counsel on. At 22, you ain't a life coach. You might be a teenage coach. You might be an up to 22 coach. That ain't life. Life takes more time. And again, not being derogatory, I love their heart and their desire. And I'd rather give them guidance and say, you know what, say you're an experience coach and you specialize in certain experiences. Totally legit, from that side. Again, not being judgmental, just working to understand, because for years and years and years, I don't think I was a life coach. I don't think I was, if you don't have it, if you ain't been there and done that, it's hard to coach it, right? I mean, you got to be a product of the product and a student of the industry. Just
wait, Scott, are you saying I can't just go online and join some 12-week program and walk out a life coach? Because I have a little piece of paper that says I'm certified.
That's right. Everybody asks me what I'm certified in the School of Hard Knocks, brother.
See? Hang on. So I can actually write certified here.
That's
and send it to you. I can print it.
You can. You can send me a certification, and Totally, Dr. Loren. I mean, I'm
Well, you
with
know,
you.
yeah, right.
You know, it is, you know,
You're not authority on anything unless you've lived it.
Mhm.
I can tell you
Boom.
when I lived through my near-death experience, I was telling somebody this story the other day. The first thing I asked was, you know, when is the first time I can drive a car again? And the first thing that Dr. Google told me is most of the time when people come through what you've come through, if they come through at all, you'll never drive again. Well, that's not what I wanted to read. And I said, well, when's the first time that I can speak on stage again? It said basically never. You'll never regain your professional career. I said, that's not what I want to read. And so I wrote a book just in case people were blessed enough to come through a similar event that somebody didn't limit them as to what they could do after the fact. But it's because of experience that you can do it. And I'm sorry, you know, it was a near-death experience. I've always been an overachiever. I lived. I'm
Is
sorry.
that the book?
No, that's a different one. I've
Look,
written,
that's a different one. Okay.
I've written a few, but the point is that you know, it's only, but that book as an example is how we took a client from $8 million to $100 million. That's not theory. That's how we did it. It's 150 pages in that book. I'm not, I don't ever teach things that I don't do myself or that I don't feel myself. And quite frankly, my belief is that's the way it should be for everyone.
That's it.
Sorry to go on a rant there. I just kind of went off, you know.
I love it. I want your book now.
I know
here's the
where
thing,
you can find some.
Yeah. I'm fortunate enough to have one and read it. When we think about experience, right? And I love the fact that you talked about the 22-year-old life coach. I've known people in their 70s who have no idea what life is fully about.
Right.
So it's about what do we do with the life we're given? How are we living it? What are our intentions every single day? And Dr. Loren, you talked about how do we wake up in the morning? What are the things that we say to ourselves? What is the intention every single day?
Yep.
What is the gratitude? Do we wake up? I wake up every morning. First thing is gratitude. Without that, I am nothing. I'm alive. I'm so fortunate. I made it another day. I am here. I'm shining. And Scott was with me in the previous show we just did a couple of minutes ago, 40 minutes ago. And I was talking about that every morning I wake up and I have a party. I'm alive. It's a beautiful thing. And so my own thoughts are healing me. My own agenda in my head is allowing me to be incredible today, to share the gifts I've been given with others. And it is that intention that I wake up with every morning to be able to do what I do. Not to say, look at me, because I look at me every morning. I'm with me. I take care of me so that I can benefit from all the gifts I've gotten, and then I can share them. So it's not about me. The only time it's about me, it's when I'm by myself. That's when I nourish me. Dog agrees also. Dog agrees. It's all about me when I'm by myself. But when I'm with others, it no longer is about me. And this is why I have a party every morning. It's not a pity party. It's a me party. It's a gratitude party every single morning.
I have totally had that shift in my life. And Scott, not to take away from your near-death experience, but I feel like I had one as well a few years ago, but mine was all up here. It wasn't physical. And I grew up in Massachusetts in the Boston area. And back then, when you were a typical Bostonian, that abrasive personality, they had a name for us. We were called massholes. I was the epitome of that. And that's how I lived my life. And my sales, I was like, yeah, I beat you. I got that. I was better than you and the whole thing. That ego was running my life. And then I had some pretty substantial life changes happened to me. And that I was fortunate enough to meet this beautiful woman that I am now married to. And she helped me see myself. And she told me early on, she says, you know, if you really want to be successful and happy in life, you need to be who you are at your essence. Don't let your ego run the show. That's not you. That's your external influences. And so I went into a lot of deep study. I took courses. I did a lot of introspective meditation, all that. And I finally realized how my life wasn't the way I wanted it to be. And it wasn't my purpose. I was not living my purpose. And I was 60 years old at the time. And I thought, oh, wow. But you know what? It's never too late to change.
Right.
And I made that shift. And I guess what I'm trying to say is it's never too late for anybody out there. That's right. Sifu alluded to it earlier. How many people in your life do you know that just, they're not there, they're not living their purpose? I can think of many people who they're just going through the motions and existing. I was doing that until I realized I do have a purpose. So I would encourage anybody listening to the show to really sit down and have a talk with yourself and say, why am I here? What is my purpose? It's a very, very difficult question to answer. Difficult to ask initially. But you know what? Once you do, wow, life becomes beautiful. And Dr. Loren, not to take away from you, because you had mentioned that, you know, when we get through our life, if we can believe it, what's our reward? I tell people, maybe we're in heaven right now.
Yeah.
It's all mindset. I like to get out there and think that I am in heaven. You just look around. People are beautiful. The world is beautiful.
Right.
We take it for granted.
Man, Scott, I need you. Joe, I need you. Well, probably you too, Scott. Was that a Freudian slip or was that a download? So I just say, hey, I'm going to tell you, I treat my world like spiritual flypaper. Yep. I don't throw out anything that comes flying in because who am I to say what will and what won't, who is and who isn't. So just for that. So when I said, oh, wait a minute, and I catch it, that was purposeful. And when you tie these types of grounding things, people think grounding and think it's just for in the morning. No, joy comes in the morning, but that's only if you've done something straight all day. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, come on now, people, for real. So here's the last thing I have to say, because I know we're almost out of time, but I want to piggyback off of Scott. When he said earlier, feel, he said feel. Let me tell you why that's so important. So many people, they spend their entire journey, decades, all about, things that you can touch. Because the imagination, also known as the greatest screen available in the universe, everything we can touch, everything, started on that screen. But guess what? It created things, and not a one of them can go with us. Have you ever seen luggage beneath a casket? Have you ever seen a U-Haul behind a hearse? No. But when we take the things that we do that allow us to feel, and those are the things that allow us to leave something behind in this world that the people who are coming from the future to this world, when they pick it up, it'll enable them to feel the same things. So love, joy, compassion, empathy, all the things that serve us. They're not things, they're places. Faith, it is where you need it, when you need it, if you brought it with you. Everything you need, joy, it'll be with you if you brought it with you. But if you didn't, you're going to be one of those people. When it's time, the conductor going to be by the door to the right. Time, come on, time to go. What? Panicking, looking all around. What you looking for? Give me a second. I know it must be here somewhere. Oh, you mean something you can feel? Look behind all those trophies and awards and doctorates and houses and wives and children. Maybe it's behind one of them, because that's all you brought with you. That's all you brought with you. So to tie it up, the I-N words, I love this one. They go nuts in the audiences. I'm just telling you, so you might want to try this one. The I-N words are incredible. Inside there, and they're all here. This is a place I call my panic room. Not because I panic, but when something's trying to destroy or distract or disenfranchise or whatever it's doing, derailing anything in my life, I reach for the keypad. I don't even have to put my angel number in. I don't even have to let that frequency tone be heard. They see me headed towards my panic room, they panic. The things that do not serve me, but only because I'm consistent and I have groomed them. I have trained them. You use what they use on us against them. Every lie, every trick, I speak to them and I mean it. Because how else can I make it work? If your words are full of meaning, that's the only way they can become meaningful. That's it. It works in both directions. What is inside this room? Instinct, insight, innocence, intent, intellect, integrity, ingenuity, incredible, inclusion, in spirit, inspiration. They're all internal, they're all inside. And the only way anything can touch them, because they can't touch us and they can't make us do anything. They can get us to extend an invitation. And when we invite something in, that's when things aren't going due north. That's when they go south. That's when they go wrong. And when most of us look back on those moments in our journey, if we're perfectly honest, we can say, I am responsible. I did that because I remember I thought I had a 14-year drug addiction until about 4 years ago. And Spirit said I was walking through the mailbox, minding my business. They said, "Hey, Loren, huh? You were never addicted to drugs." I was like, "What? What you talking about, Willis?" They said, "You weren't." They said you were addicted to abusing our divine gift of invitation, nothing more. When you got sick of it, you got rid of it, and it stopped. Go and tell them. You see. So I just want to tell you guys, be encouraged. If you want the world to be interest, there's another IN word. Be consistent so that you can always be interesting. ING should be in everything you do, from your keynote titles to your biography to your good mornings. I ask people every day, and here's why I pulled the card out. On the back of every business card since day one, all those decades ago, what will you do today that eases some form of suffering in the world? I don't have a problem asking people that, because no matter what their response is, there's no wrong one. If they don't know, they think for a minute, that's a great question. I'm going to work on that. There you go. Or instantly, I do this, I do that, and I'm going to do some more. My thing to say, everybody, if you want to do what you want to do and you want to leave this world a better place, then just get up every day and know that you were brought here for a reason.
Amen.
Get out and make it happen. Be that person that they've never seen, and you will do those things that have never been. I'm living it, and I know you guys on the screen are too. You see? So that's it. That's all I got.
Can we get an amen?
Amen. Amen. Hey, listen, what a great conversation I've been listening to. I feel like I'm just listening to you guys and I'm absorbing everything. So thank you all for being here with us. What I'd love to do right now is give everybody 45 seconds. Tell us how what somebody can expect when they reach out to you, Dr. Loren. What a great
a brand new car and dinner and with Oprah and Gail. I'm kidding.
That's what you're offering. I'm going to reach out to you.
Right, be right there.
So you mean what? Say it again. What they can expect?
When they reach out to your Calendly, what
That's because I don't like to text. Somebody mentioned the eyes. I don't. When somebody is on a call with me and they won't open their camera, then this call is about to be terminated. There must be some reason. Come back when I can look and lay eyes on you. I want to see it. You see what I'm saying? Right. And so I go for that. That's if you people Googled, my phone number's out there, my email, everything but my social security number. That might be out there too. Be gone, hackers. Anyway, but I like to do that. I want people get book 15 minutes. If you just want to kick it, you just want to ask a question, or maybe you want to tell me something you received. Dr. Loren, I had a download about you, or I'm inspired to tell you this. I want to know about it, and I want to hear from you, because I can't say I see you if you never show me that you're willing to be seen.
Love it. Everybody, make sure you reach out to Dr. Loren. Scott, you're up, my friend.
Love it. You know, I've been writing so many notes through this, and that's what it becomes, is be a passionate learner and just keep on firing. But one of the things, Dr. Loren, what you spurred in me is one of the things that I share with people is live your legacy. Don't just leave it. You know, why should you assimilate and accumulate all sorts of stuff that you're going to leave to other people. Why don't they know what you stand for right now by living your legacy? And as as Les Brown said, live hot, die empty. Right.
I just wrote that down. I just talked to Les last night, and he said to me, don't forget, live full,
Live
die
full.
empty.
That's
And
right.
I was just going to say that. Scott,
Well,
we're on the same frequency.
Oh yeah, no, you and I need to talk. Les
wrote
and I
your
have
name
probably
down.
done 50 events together. So
Les?
anyway, the whole point is that we're here to be of service. Wilson is like echoing everything I'm saying right now. He's very excited.
Oh, that's
our
your
75-pound
Who let that
our
dog
75-pound poodle is saying, listen to him right now. So the point is that if I can ever be of service to you, please feel free to reach out. I don't hide well. My email is scott@scottschilling.com, for God's sakes. My website is scottschilling.com. Here's what I know. I know that God has given me talents and capabilities to be of service to you, whoever you are. If you feel that, reach out. If you don't believe I'm the guy, reach out anyway, because I probably know the guy.
That's
Or
right.
the girl.
Absolutely.
I mean, I've been blessed to do over 3,000 live events in my career. I have shared the stage with every good one, everyone that thought they were good.
Almost every good one.
Almost. That's true.
Yeah.
You and I got to get together, Doc.
Thank you.
So the point is, please reach out. And thank you, Sifu, and thank you, Joe, and thank you, Dr. Loren, for a great
Thank
show.
you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, guys. And you got two incredible human beings that everybody needs to reach out to. And Joe, you're up, my friend.
To put it simply, you get me when you reach out.
Well, all right. Then.
And I'm 71 years old, very proud of that, and had a lot of experience. As Scott said, you can't coach it until you lived it. And believe me, I have lived it. So I would say that's the easiest way. Of course, you got my contact there. And one thing that comes to mind for me is I love Wayne Dyer. And I adopted my daily mantra. And it's simply this: when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
Amen.
All your state of mind.
Yeah.
So that would be my message.
One last thing.
Go for it.
Those
And I
of
want to
you
get
who-
on your stages, by the way.
Yes, I want everybody to come. Seriously, I mean the TV show or some of the events I pull off. I have 4 annual flagship events, and I would love to have you if you're a speaker. You want to do some emceeing, things like that. We build the stages with people who are building kingdom work, people who are doing it, and that's why I do it, to keep you from those traps. So we're a vetted community, and I just want to say, well, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for every one of you. Seriously, I was in a spot yesterday where I was like, "Can I?" Oof. I'm so, sometimes you just feel like the world. Why? Every time I trust or believe, people are. I'm telling you, don't be surprised that there's so many people that are trying to steal joy, energy suckers, and things, this and the other. They just let you know you've got what they want. They just don't know how to ask you for it. So, just keep going, keep growing so that you can keep showing. And remember this, it's a need to know. When there's a need to know, it's because it's time to grow. And when you buy that, look what it did. Prayer hands. Everyone that got you here, your ancestors and the ancestor that you are, for those coming from the future, all of their prayers and yours go into that moment to help get you there. The alchemist, everything conspires to serve you. And remember this, finally, this universe, they don't make mistakes. That's just what they do to keep this shit interesting. That's all. Be encouraged. Count it all joy. That's it.
James 1, 2 through 4, brother.
Yep.
Really?
Reach out, Dr.
Count it
Loren.
all joy.
I will. And I want Joe and Sifu, you're coming back. We already talked about that. We want to be here first, then you're coming back. And Scott, you and I feel like we ought to book a flight and go see each other and meet each other. I'm so excited. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
I got to tell you, this was supposed to be a 45-minute show. It's an hour. But guess what?
Divine timing.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for making it such an incredible show. Everybody share this show with people that need to listen to the messages that were delivered today, because you don't know who needed to listen to them. You don't know. I'm Sifu Rafael. I do have a program. It's called Reset Your Mind, Your Body, Everything. It's called Sifu's Mind Body Method. Scott is in it. And I got to tell you, my passion, my ability, the only reason I can do such a program is because I've lived it. I live it day in, day out. It is my mantra. It is everything that I do. So you go there, you get a detox program, but guess what? It's free. And the other thing is, if you want to have a conversation with me and you need my help, reach out there too.
Yeah.
My link is there to do that. Thank you, gentlemen. What an incredible show. You guys are superstars. And yes, Dr. Loren, we need to get on your stages. Scott is an incredible speaker. Joe, you need to come on the stages, and we're going to do some great things together. The 4 of us, the 3 of us, the 8 of us, the 48 of us. Because guess what? We belong to this incredible universe, this world, that when we find like-minded people, we need to stick together.
Hold on tight.
Do me a favor, don't go anywhere. Everybody, have yourself a blessed and beautiful rest of the day. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Have a fabulous day, all.
This is Speaking Prowess,